Love, light, and blessings, shamanic Awak priestess here. And I was just catching up to some work. I'm going to be sending out the materials today or tomorrow for the ancestral healing courses that we're starting. There's going to start this weekend. And I was also tying up loose ends with the hoodoo courses, getting ready to do the second bout next month, and just finishing up with that and things like that, and scheduling readings from people that are buying readings and so on and so forth, because I was forced to take off Wednesday night and Thursday. So I have my peppermint tea. I was sitting here, just writing material. Have my eucalyptus mint candle going and a very high vibrational healing incense and things like that, because I'm just trying to heal from this like viral cold that I have going on. And so, as some of you know, I am doing a low buy year, a deaf year kind of thing. And with that, it has actually made me, go through my collection. And things that no longer resonate, or decks that I no longer used, I've been purging them, whether it's gifting them, exchanging them, selling them, things like that. So, kind of downsizing my collection. I've started doing that since last year, and I've continued to do that. And in my discoveries of that, I also discovered some decks that I used for years and years. So kind of like forgotten decks that I still use, and I've been using for years. And so I wanted to share those decks with you, my most used decks, whether it was in the past that I used them a lot, maybe I don't use them anymore. And decks that I still been having, my oldest decks, and the ones that the highest, most used decks. So I wanted to kind of do that, basically to share with you guys and to catalog this journey that I'm doing. So I have new decks that have come into my collection, like the Light Seers Tarot and things like that I've done exchanges for, because there are decks that no matter what, because I try to rotate my decks out, I would try to use them and I just wouldn't connect with them. So I just, started exchanging those. And I've also exchanged backup copies of decks that are highly available, because the backup copies are sitting there being unused. So I kind of, been even getting rid of backup copies of things and things like that. So, all right. So my oldest tarot deck, besides playing cards, that I first started doing divination on, the elements, so water, fire, and playing cards. So when I finally got into tarot, the first tarot deck I ever owned was the Angel Tarot cards by Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine. So mine is an older edition. This was before Doreen Virtue converted to Christianity. Her name was still on the deck. So, and you could tell this is an old, very old deck. Been having it for years. Literally, like, there's basically no gilding left on it. It's chipped, and I don't really use it like I used to. But this is the deck that I first took an interest in tarot with, because it doesn't have your traditional devil card, and I was always afraid of using tarot decks because of the devil card. So this one, the devil card would be ego. And I started on this deck but learned like the traditional meanings on it. So I knew that the water were cups. I knew that the wands, the fire was wands. That earth is the pentacles. And that the air are the swords. But this deck helped me to get rid of my fear And eventually, after working exclusively with this deck for like a couple of years, I then went into clones and eventually the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. So even though I don't really use this deck anymore, I still keep it in my collection because it's nostalgia. And it was a very highly used deck when I was working on myself and really just more reading for myself, not for clients or anything like that. So this was a deck that I used exclusively for a very, very long time. And so it's very sentimental to me. It comes with a little guidebook and everything. So yeah, so this is one of my oldest decks that I own, and it's the Angel Tarot cards. Like I said, they're pretty beat down. But I've been having them for like, been having the deck for like 8 years. So another deck, tarot deck, that's one of my oldest, longest. This one I still use, is the Universal Waite Tarot deck. And this deck I'm still using as a working deck. And this is the deck that I really studied the Rider-Waite-Smith with and really developed and started reading professionally with, and when I went into my tarot business and everything like that. So this was the deck, and I still use it. I still have my first copy of it. It is very worn. It has natural graying in it because it's so old. It's like dented, like it has a bump right there. And then because I shuffle it upside down sometimes just to kind of stop it from being like that. So yeah, like this deck has been with me for years. As long as I've been professional, I've been using this deck. And I will continue to use this deck. I tried to buy a backup copy and I used it. It just didn't feel the same. Like I went back to the older one. I like how used it looks and worn it looks and things like that. My other one of the longer tarot decks that I've had as well. This is not a tarot deck. I think it's this one. Is the Radiant. Yeah, it's the Radiant Waite. Yeah, the Radiant Waite Tarot. It's also naturally gray, not edged. I've been using this one for years and years. It has been really, really good, and I love it. I've gotten really wonderful readings with this one, and it has just been a really good working deck for me, and I love it a lot. It is one of the longest decks that I've actually have worked with as well professionally, and so yeah, it's also worn, it's chipped at the edges, it's well loved, it's well used. As much as I like pristine brand new decks, I do get a joy sometimes of like the decks that I use the most, how worn they look and stuff. Because then it brings me back to like all the readings that I've done with it, the things that I've been through with these decks and things like that. One of my older decks also is the Dreams of Gaia. And this deck, I've had it for years. I mean, you can tell that I use it a lot. It's literally chipped. This is the first version. I got a backup copy of this, and I actually am exchanging it, the second edition, because it doesn't feel the same as like the first edition. I like everything about this first edition. The cardstock, the plain black backs, the texture of the cards. This deck has been through a lot with me. It helped me out of depression. It helped me do a lot of shadow work, and things of that nature. So I have a very strong connection with it, and you can tell it's like it's been really used. Like it's barely has gilding left. It's really, really chipped in the back. You know, like this deck has been highly used. Like it's pretty chipped up and everything. And then last but not least, out of the tarot, so I 1, 2, 3, 4. So the fifth most used deck. So this is my top 5 most used tarot decks. Is the Wheel of the Year, which this one I'm not using at the moment for right now, but I will still keep it in my collection whether I ever use it again, because I've had such a strong connection with this. And this one I used even longer than I was doing the Rider-Waite-Smith, you know. This was the deck that was like, these decks like this, the clones, it didn't have devil cards in them, like Robin Wood, things like that, or the transitional decks, until I started studying Rider-Waite-Smith. And like I said, you can see that I've highly used this deck. Like it's chipped, it's faded, but I love it. Like I bought a backup deck to this too, and I don't even use it because I keep using this version. You know, I've anointed this deck. This deck has traveled with me on long distance trips. I have done readings for my clients, for myself. It's one of the decks that I actually use on myself, but also have used on my clients, which is something I don't really do. I just have such a strong connection and history with this one. So yeah, it's like it is my highly most used deck. And even if I'm not using it at the moment right now, it is a deck that I feel like I should always have in my collection, even if it's like the Angel Tarot, where it's like for nostalgic reasons or something like that. So I can't imagine my collection without it. So, and that was the Wheel of the Year, Los Garibo. The other deck before that was the Dreams of Gaia Tarot. So for Oracle, I have the Madame Endor's Fortune cards, is one of my oldest Oracle decks, and it's I love it. Like it's a deck that I've been having for years, that I just completely love the deck. I've been having this one for 3 or 4 years. It's one of the few ones that I actually edge the sides, and I don't regret it because it never has bled, and it actually looks nice and it's still there. Because those that follow me, I'm not really an edge or a deck modifier, but I feel like this deck needed it, because the sides of the deck were kind of gross. So yeah, this actually has really flimsy cardstock, and the deck has lasted me like the 4 years I've been using it. So another Oracle, because now we're doing my top 5 Oracle decks that I've used a lot, is Ask Your Guides. And this is one of my oldest, when I first got into using decks and things like that. So this was one of my first Oracle decks that I ever had. And I've been having this deck for the last 6 years, and I use it a lot. Like it gets very heavy usage. It's nice and worn, you know. It's starting to fade on the top right there. You can see that. Like it gets very high usage and things like that. These are the backs, and I love it. Like I love this deck. You can tell, like it has the mark of my finger on it already whenever I full shuffle. But it's my go-to. Like I can't imagine my collection without it. And so yeah, so this is an oldie but a goodie still. Let's see, another deck. This was my first ever Oracle deck, and it's the Archangel Oracle decks by Doreen Virtue. This one's also very old, you could tell. This deck is amazing. I've used it on myself Oh, I've used it on clients in the past when I still used to use Oracle cards. I don't really use Oracle cards in my readings anymore. But yeah, I've used this deck. I love it. I still use this deck for myself, just like the other one. I still use this Oracle deck. When I got rid of all my other Oracle decks, this is one of the few that I actually kept because I'm not much of an Oracle person. There was a time that I was, but not so much these days. And this deck, I've been having it, I believe, since 2013, 2014. It's very highly used. Pretty much, it has like a indentation right here where like I put my fingers there from how much I've used this deck. So they're pretty worn, pretty loved decks. The next deck I'm going to show you guys is another one of my first Oracle decks as well. No, this is not the one. Okay, let's see. What's this one? Okay, sorry. I pulled out the wrong deck, so I wanted to include this one. This is Messages from Your Angels. This is another Dorming Virtual deck. This one, you can see I've used it a lot. You can see like the indentation and everything like that. I've been having this deck too since about 2013, 2014. This deck has been through it all with me. I don't use it on other people so much anymore, but I have recently started using it on myself. When I was going through which decks I'm going to keep and which decks are going to go and things like that. This card even has like, it's bended. You probably can't see it, but like, you see it? It's like bended and everything. Because it got like, it fell underneath one of the desk chair when I was doing a reading. So these cards have been through it all with me. Like, I love it. And when I started to actually get rid of things that I don't use anymore, I started to rediscover a lot of my oldies that I've loved so much, that I would use in the past so much. And I started using them to see if I still connected with them, because sometimes like the Robin Woods Tarot, I love it, but I don't have it anymore because like I stopped using it and stuff, and it just, I didn't have that connection with it anymore, so I gifted it, like things like that. Sometimes that happens. We outgrow decks and things like that, but this is not the case for any of the decks that I'm showcasing today. Like, I still connect with them. You know what I mean? So, yeah, like these, you could tell they're older copy and they've been through things, and I love using these decks. Like, they speak to me very deeply, and I love using these Oracle decks on myself and things like that. The fifth one I'm going to show you isn't as old as the first four that I showed you, but I've been having this one for some time as well, and I use this one all the time. And it's my chakra deck that I use a lot for when I'm doing chakra work and meditation purposes and things like that. I will pull from this deck and create, you know, crystal grids and things like that around it. These are the backs of the cards, and this is your Chakra Insight Oracle deck, and it's one of my older Oracle decks that I work with. So yeah, these are the top 10 decks that they're my oldest decks. And when I started, you know, clearing away decks that I just don't feel drawn to use, that pretty much it felt more like a chore when I will put them in my rotation. And through getting rid of decks that didn't speak to me, I rediscovered a lot of my oldies and found ways to incorporate them back into my practice and actually appreciate how worn they look and how chipped they look, because I remembered, like I was telling you, like there's memories that I have of reading certain people with them and things like that when I was first starting out, you know, into this whole world of doing readings and things like that. It brings me back a lot of my nostalgic readings and things. So I've enjoyed rediscovering my old loves. So that's it for this video. If you want to work with me one-on-one, shamanic@priestess.com, and you can book a psychic reading. I connect to the past, present, and future. I give you time frames. I'm also someone who helps people to manifest the things that they want through rituals and spell work. You will have to do a pre-consultation for that, but I do that as well. I also offer my shaman healing services. And I'm going to be doing every so often workshops where I would teach you different and various things. So any of those things you're interested in, go to my website, shamanic@priestess.com. Also, I wanted to tell you guys that I appreciate you guys. Our subscribers are growing. Please leave comments below. When you guys leave comments, it inspires me to make videos and things like that. So, and for anybody out there who has oldies but goodies, I would love to see in the comment section or video replies. It doesn't have to be, but you could even comment in the comment section below. Let me know what your oldest working decks are. The ones that are pretty, like, you could tell they're worn, you've been using them for a long time, and share, like I did, why you like working with those decks, and you know, show them off. Like, I would love to know that. Like, I'm so fascinated by these old worn out decks that no matter how much other decks you get, it's like you always go back to the OGs, the old faithful. You know, a lot of times, sometimes you outgrow them, like I said, and then some of them, they're timeless. Like, they always, no matter how long you stop reading with them, for some reason you pick them up and it's as if you never stop reading with the deck. The ones that you have like that strong connection with, I would love to hear more about that in the comments below. So I want this to be like a discussion in the community. Much love, much light, much blessings. Thank you so much for watching this video. Until the next video, guys. Bye.